All right, happy hump day. It's Wednesday. We're at the Sawmill, but not the regular Sawmill. We're at the Arundel County Fair in Arundel County, Maryland. The fair starts not this weekend, but next weekend. I think it's the weekend of the 13th of September. So, and it goes for like 3 or 4 days. And we run a sawmill here, which belongs to the Arundel County Tractor Club. But the coolest part of this sawmill is, in my opinion, the engine. It's a Detroit diesel model 471. It's supercharged. This is a supercharger over here. Right here is a supercharger. Sucks air in, sucks, squeeze, bang, blow. No, because that's for 4 cycles. This is just sucks air in and blows it out. It's very, very efficient. But before we get it going, it hasn't run in at least a year. Well, it's been exactly a year. So we'll check the oil, check the filters, and just see what things look like. And then we'll get it cracking. So, and then we'll hook the batteries up. We should be good to go. We changed the filters maybe a year and a half ago. This thing only gets 10 hours a year on it, so it doesn't get any hours. Let me check the oil. All right. Well, we don't know a whole lot about this thing, but I do know you've got to check the oil. And it looks to me like the dipstick is right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. So here is the dipstick, but I also know when we put oil in this some time ago, we changed the oil. They want you to use SAE 30 straight oil. Looks pretty good to me. Let me just check. There we go, wipe it clean. It says full. Shocking, and it looks very clean. That's shocking too. Diesels put out tons of dirty oil, no doubt. All right, next thing, let me check the coolant. Make sure we got some coolant in this thing. Broke it. No, just kidding. Okay. It's dark down there. Oh wow, it's dry. Well, can't see very far down it. It's not pressurized. So let me find some coolant here. Check this out. We found several gallons of this stuff lying around. Coolant antifreeze for heavy-duty engines, meaning diesel engines. It is SCA pre-charged, and they put SCA in diesel fuel so you don't have cavitation of the cylinder liners, which this engine has. So that's a good thing. So let me put some of this in. Well, that doesn't make me too thrilled. It took a whole gallon and I'm not full, but we have a few more. So let me see what I can do. Oh, there we go. All right, well, that's not so bad. That's 1.5 gallons. I'm okay with that. That's happy days. If I put 6 gallons in it or 10 gallons, I'd be nervous. But 1.5 gallons I can live with, so that's a good deal. Look at this. Big piece of cast iron for the radiator cap lid when people did things a little bit differently than they do today. So here's what we're doing, is because I remember I've got 2 big batteries at home, and one of the batteries has got connectors for this on it. This one does not have, you know what I mean? Like, oh. So that's all right. Let me just use this little jump start thing, which, believe it or not, works. So now, theoretically, when we hit the start button, it should do something. Start button, you ready? So it should not start when you're holding it there. Ready? A little bit more, maybe. It doesn't.
I think the diesel, if it didn't.
It'll start up. It's just trying to get some oil pump going. Let me crank it for another second. I can't see the oil pressure switch. All right, let's, this time when I go, it should start, right? If you don't love that, you know, something's really wrong with you. That is so cool. Make sure we got oil pressure. All right, let's start this thing up again. We got our Genius Boost Pro GB150. Shockingly, it works. for this engine because it's not that hard to do. All right, fire in the hole. Ready, Gary? Gary, ready? Doug, what'd you do to my chain?
Well, that takes me out.
That's all right. Let's take a peek and see what we got here.
We got a problem with our knees anyway.
What happened?
Well, I pulled it only once going back.
Oh, ooh. Well, I'm glad we're here then, you know? All right, so we got two things to figure out. We got the engine running. That was easy. The knees were out of alignment and they weren't even on the gears for the drive gears. So Gary, Paula, myself, and Doug fixed that. Now we got to fix our chain here because our chain ended up in South County when a link broke for getting rid of the sawdust. So let's look at that. All right, fire in the hole, and then I'm going to just tap the clutch when we get going. You know what I mean? And just see what happens. All right, ready? So we learned a good lesson here. The dragline is set for at least a year dormant, getting rusty. The bottom part of it actually was in a pile of sawdust, getting rusty. We probably should have stored it in some oil, soaked it in some oil, or at least sprayed it down before we did anything. Some of the chains were pretty well rusted shut, but we'll fix it. It takes 2 or 3 shots, but we finally get the thing straightened out. Doug's learned how to do it, and I've kind of learned how to do it now. So now we know. Uh-oh. Okay, so without boring you to death, we spent an hour or so oiling this thing up and freeing up the linkages on it. Several of them were rusted shut. So Doug, Gary, and I, Alan, Phil, we all kind of played around with it, but we got it straightened out. We kind of learned how it worked. The big lesson is next year, let's make sure we either spray this thing down with something so it doesn't get all rusty, or at least move it out of the sawdust so it doesn't turn to rust and freeze up on us. But it's running a little bit better now, so I think we're in good shape.
Can you engage it?
Engage it? Yeah, how hot is it?
Not.
Yeah, I know.
It's as cold as the blade.
Well, let's run it and see.
Well, we just worked. The amount of time we just spent running it,
Yeah.
heated our other one up.
But we saw it let's saw a little bit and see what it feels like. But I agree with you, it shouldn't get hot.
No, this is cold.
Okay, so here we are, getting ready for our first test cut of the year in 12 months. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wait, we're missing something here.
Did we forget something? We got the dogs.
Well, the dogs are probably in the cabinets. Guess we need to put dogs on it.
Yeah.
What the? Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I know. I don't know how they go on. This is not hard.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, I've never taken them off. Never put them on. All right, Matt's got one more. We're good. Take two. Let's put them all on. It's free. Well, I don't know about that, but you know what I mean. There we go. All right.
Ready?
Now we got our dogs in place. Who let the dogs out? Fire in the hole. You ready? Phil, want me to get it? I should have brought my tools. I should have brought my cant, I guess. That's good. Good job. It's hot out here. Okay, so we learned our lesson last week. When something like this happens and a piece of slab wood goes down where it shouldn't, turn the saw off and get it out of the way. Otherwise, it might get caught on a tooth and fly back and whack Doug in the head. And it doesn't look like to me like he needs a haircut. So we're going to shut it down, clear it out, and get cracking a little bit more. All we're trying to do is just make sure this thing runs okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Ready? Of course, we only have one cant here today, so that makes Doug's job a little bit harder, and Matt doesn't have a cant. So good luck, guys. Doug gets to do all the hard lifting, and we kind of watch. What do you say, Doug? Doug, you want to call it quits? All right, well, here we are. We cleaned things up around here. Thanks to everyone for helping out. We got rid of some sawdust, some old slab wood. Had some problems with the chain drag, which clears out the sawdust, but we got that figured out. Memo to us is to oil it next year. We probably spent an hour and a half fixing it. Plus the post-its on twisted a little bit, but it seems to be working well. Doug did a couple of test cuts, cutting like a champ. We're happy. So on with the program. Showtime, 9 o'clock next. We don't know what day it is. We're just kidding. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See ya.